So we're back. We're trying this again. Apparently, the sound was a little crazy in the first attempt. So if y'all can let me know how the sound sounds now. I restarted, ended the last stream. I'm hoping there was just some connectivity issues in the last one. But don't worry, it's all gonna work out. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. Sounds much better. Okay, okay. Thank you, Lene. Thank you, D Jackson. See, I'm telling you, it seems like the times when I'm really going in, that's when like there's technical difficulties. I was in the zone, right? But I think that's a perfect example of, I mean, a very small, perfect example of like sometimes we have to go through a few things to get through our goal. And thank y'all for telling me it was good. Thank you. Sometimes we have to go through a few things, but like we get to the goal. It works out. I and I don't talk about this message as a like, oh, look at my life and I think sometimes people when they hear that, they're like, oh yeah, well things work out for you, but they're not working out for me. And I'm like, I think the reason things work out for me as much as they do is because I refuse to go around just always believing things are going to get worse, always looking at the negative. And I try to share that message with other people because I'm like, I think for all of us, if we have this ideal of like it's going to work out, things get better. I think we can look up in 6 months, a year, and have that change take place in all of our lives to where we're not just going around always scared, always worried, always anxious, and we can just kind of have that lightness that comes with understanding that like things work out in life. Yes, there's going to be pain. Yes, there's going to be suffering. That's life. It is what it is. But like we don't have to add to that. I think what a lot of times we do is we take, like I always say, I think, life 80% good, 20% suffering. But like we tack on another 20, 30, 40% suffering to that 20% that we're gonna have to go through because we're always imagining everything's not gonna work out, you know? And it's funny, real quick, Russell, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Let me give you a like on that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Poverty Paradise, we fixed it. I said, hello, Tim. Did I miss anything? I haven't seen your videos in a while. We still here preaching the same, sharing the same message. So no, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. Um, yeah, I'm kind of focused on. I'm gonna get back to the chat. Everybody who's coming through saying what's up. I'm gonna get back into the chat later, but I kind of want to, get this out because I don't know, it just came to me today. Some days I'm like, I want to say something that like really means something. I think it'd be really helpful. So thank you, Russell. Um, Super Chat Squad, thank you. But yeah, I genuinely believe that we all were born with, like, it's our right as a human being to have like control over our lives, a certain amount of control over our lives. I think we're not taught this because it benefits certain people when we feel powerless. It benefits certain people, certain other humans, when we don't think we can affect their life at all. And if you're feeling powerless, if you're feeling like you have no control, naturally your mind is going to go towards like the negative because you think you can't stop it. That's what you're going to be focused on because you're like, it's like if you're in a car and like you suddenly lose control of the steering, you're a lot more worried about like hitting a tree than you are about like, oh, we might go straight. You know what I mean? You're like, I got no control. I hope we don't hit a tree. You know what I mean? So I think that's how we are in life a lot of times when we feel powerless, when we feel like we don't have any control, naturally we focus on like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope this doesn't happen. But I don't believe we're powerless. I think we have control. Maybe not total control. There's universal law, there's the divine, there's time and unforeseen occurrence. But like I think we have way more control than we've ever been taught we were. And I think something as simple as saying, yeah, I think it's going to work out, kind of is how we tap into that control. I think our thoughts, our actions, the things we speak into it, the things we predict. I think that's how we control our lives. I think our beliefs. No, I think it's going to be okay. I think we're plugging into that power and using it. That's the way of using that power. It's like I want my life to be okay. I want things to work out in my life. So I'm going to say they're going to work out. And I think that's me using some of that control. That's me using some of that power. And the more I say it, the more I believe it. And the more I believe it, the more I say it. And like the more I've noticed this, and it's crazy. Trust me. Trust me. I've told this story many times. I got this from a good friend of mine. And he just has this level of contentment, this level of peace. And we were roommates one time. We've been roommates several times, but one of the times, um, he was always good about we'd be sitting in the living room and we'd be going over all this stuff going on in our lives. And at the end of the conversation, he'd be like, well, you know, it's going to work out. And I'm like, bro, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? I get like internally, you know what I mean? Like you ever been talking to somebody and they say something, be like, bro, I'd be like, bro, that's not how it works. But then, fast forward a couple weeks later, we're sitting in the living room again talking, and it worked out for him. And I started being like, wait a second. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, how does this stuff keep working out for this dude? So I start saying it. Or like in conversation, we'd be talking. I'm like, yeah, but I know you're gonna say it's all gonna work out. And he'd be like, it is. And I'm like, you know what? All right, cool. It's gonna work out. Fast forward 2, 3 weeks, whatever situation I was going through. I'm like, that worked out. He like, yeah, I told you it was going to. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna run with this, and then it becomes just your truth. And that's a beautiful place to be when like positive thoughts and positive beliefs become your truth. So you get to the point where like you don't have to like constantly monitor yourself and like you just believe it. Like it's your truth. You're like things work out. And now when you go through more extreme things, or maybe when something first starts happening, you may have to, you may get off the path for a little bit, but like I always say, certain things are my default setting. My default setting is like things work out. So after a while, I jump back. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, this is gonna work out. It's gonna work out. And it may not 100% of the time work out the way we want it to. It does not mean it's gonna work out in a way that there's no pain, there's no struggle, there's no sacrifice. But most of the time, things work out. Or we're provided the strength we need to get through them in the manner in which they work out. I just see so many people, and now that I notice it, um, I see it more. How many people? I mean, in little things. I'll be watching somebody play a video game, and they'll be talking about, "Oh, I already know I'm gonna mess up sooner or like you know what I mean." Like, and then in life, you just listen to people talking, listen to people's conversation, and once you see it, you'll see more of it. We are always speaking bad, speaking negative into existence, like constantly, constantly. Oh, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This will probably happen. Well, I could never do that. I could wrong. I could never do this. That. All this stuff. It's just like why do we go to that first? Like if we want good things to happen in our life, why wouldn't we say that? Even if it didn't work out. Like, you know what I mean? Doesn't it seem to like make more sense that we would say and talk about and spend our time talking with our friends, family, and loved ones about how we wanted things to go, as opposed to like how we don't want them to go? You know? If you think about it, just logically, wouldn't it make sense that if you're sitting around a table with all the people you love the most in this life, wouldn't y'all spend more time talking? Wouldn't it be logical that y'all would spend all that time talking about how you wanted things to turn out? But it's like the opposite. You get a group of people together, all they talk about is the bad stuff on the news. This is gonna scare to this. And I understand that like we have fears, uncertainties, and sometimes you want to voice them. But there's a difference between that and just like constantly just being negative and being scared and being worried. Whereas like meanwhile, We all have all these experiences looking at our lives, look at other people's lives, to where like things work out, we get through things. Like why are we so scared to admit that? I think sometimes we're scared to say things are going to work out because we think if we say that, it's going to make them not work out. But that's once again is more of like the programming. Why would saying something good is going to happen make something bad happen? What universal law is that? It's not. But like we've been programmed to see things that way. And I think that's part of the reason, like I said, I mentioned, well, in the other stream before I got cut off, we are living in some times where we're encountering things that no other human has ever encountered. And it's almost like so naturally we go to the negative with it because of the program, how we were raised, how we were brought up. We go to the negative with it. And it's like it's just as likely. But here's the thing. When we look back at human history, pretty much every invention we come up with, we ended up finding a way the majority of people use it for good. There's some uses that are in the middle. We can't decide if it's good or bad. And then there's a few people who use it for bad. Pretty much every technology. There's a few on the fringes you might could argue different, but most technologies, most mainstream technology, most people end up using it in their everyday lives in a positive manner. There's some questionable things in the middle, gray areas, then a few people who use it for bad. Humanity moves on. Why would that be any different with the stuff that's happening now? Because that's really the only new thing under the sun is these technologies we invent. All the other stuff, we've been doing it and getting through it for millennia. However long man's been on this planet, as far as we know, as far as there's been written history, all the bad stuff we're worried about happening has been happening and we've gotten through it. Wish we could get to the point where we stop the bad stuff we bring on ourselves. I wish we could get to the point one day where we stop doing it. But until then, it's just like there's this percentage of bad or things we don't enjoy that happen in our life. But we have always, as a race, continued despite that. Individual humans continue despite that. Look at your grandparents, look at your parents, look at your friends, look at yourself. We have accepted this. As soon as you become like aware as a child, you accept that like there's these things that are going to happen in life and that ultimately we're going to die. We accept that every single day. So like if we've already accepted that, why can't we accept the positive stuff that happens in life too? Yeah, I'm going to die one day, but I get to live on this amazing planet with all this awesome stuff to do, with all these amazing, beautiful people. And I get to spend 70, 80, 90 years learning about this planet, interacting with these people. It's going to be awesome. Like we accept the bad, but like it's hard for us to accept the good. You ever notice that? Very hard for people to accept the good. You start talking to, I know this for a fact, you start talking to positive, people have a problem. And I understand. I give people grace. I know part of the reason, people try to clap back or people try to scare you. You start talking too positive, you start talking about things working out, people want to mention all the bad things that are going on. But like I said, you can get to the point where you've accepted, like I've accepted bad things are going to happen. So you rattling off this laundry list of potential bad that could happen, I already know one or two of those is probably going to get me. I'm going to have to go through some of that. I don't have to worry about it right now, though. When it's happening, or if it's right in front of me, okay, then we can start saying, okay, what are we going to do? Then I could be anxious if it's like actually happening, or I know it's genuinely in front of me. There's a level of stress increase there, anxiety increase there, obviously. But like, I'm not going to worry about it and come up with all these crazy scenarios before it even happens. because I've accepted that those things happen. Like, and I've also accepted that most of the time things work out. So even if any of those things do happen to me, guess what? It'll probably work out. How's it going to work out, Tim? I don't know. Like, that's the beauty of it too. I just have to do my part. We just have to do our part. I just have to control as much as my life as I can control. Try to be a good person, help others. The rest of the stuff is taken care of. I don't need to know how it's going to work out. It just works out. And it's an amazing feeling when like something works out in your life. It could be something small. Something works out in your life that is, especially if it works out in a way you never saw coming. And that's when you start to understand, like, oh, there's bigger forces than me at play who are working on this stuff. Like, I don't have to figure it all out. I just have to do my part. I just have to know, like, it's gonna work out, you know? I just want us to not squander this amazing opportunity we've been given to experience the human condition on planet Earth. I just don't want us to waste it worrying. I don't want us to waste it with undue stress. I don't want us to waste it just being a negative, down person. It's just like going to. You've been waiting all year to take the family to Disney World, and then when you get there, you purposely give yourself a cold, and then you're miserable the whole time. I feel like we're like purposely doing things to ourselves that makes us not enjoy this life. Wait all year to go on vacation, and then you purposely give yourself the flu, and you got to stay in your hotel room the whole time. I feel like that's what we're doing. We're given this beautiful opportunity, and we purposely, because of our attitude, because of our perspective, our mindset, we're ruining it for ourselves. And we don't have to. We don't have to. I know this because I look around and I see some people who are like getting everything they can out of life. And it's not because they're luckier, it's not because they have more money or more this or more that, or just like bad things will happen in their life. No, it's just that like they've taken their circumstances and just been like, hey, whatever's going to happen, I'm still going to live life. I'm just not worried. I'm here for a limited amount of time. I'm going to do the things I would like to do in that amount of time. And whatever obstacles come up, well, then I'll just face them. Like, what's the difference in that? Like I said, it's the same obstacles. It's the same bad stuff. It's not like if you hide away in a hole, nothing bad ever happens to you. It's not like if you're negative all the time and you talk about all the bad stuff that's going to happen, it goes away. No. In fact, I think that invites it quicker because you're bringing that type of energy towards you because you're going to attract more people who think that way to you. And that's even more energy. It was bad enough when it's just like one of us with that type of energy. But when there's like five of you every single day in the break room, just being negative, 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 you would just think about what you're inviting into that circle. How much bad energy. And then don't you'll notice a lot of times. You'll notice that like the most negative down people always have something crazy going on in their life. Now they always blame it on somebody else. And once again, I understand how you can get to this place. But you'll notice those people who always super, they always got something crazy going on. And I'm just like, I don't want to be one of them people. Thank y'all for hitting the like button, by the way. Thank y'all so much. It's like I don't want to be one of them people, you know. I want to. I don't know how much I can control my life, but like if I have like thought and I'm in control of my actions, I want to try to do as much as I can to get the life I want. If it doesn't always go the way I want it to, okay. But I am going to do what I can. I'm gonna use my thoughts, use my free will, my power to act and move. to try to have the best life possible, you know? Why would I use all that stuff to just further put more fear out into the world? How is that getting me the life I want? You know? We have the average person I feel like has rare moments where we think about like, "Oh, this is what I want my life to be." And then we spend the rest of the time thinking about why it could never happen. How is that the recipe to get something? You know? How is that the recipe to live the life you want if we're constantly talking about why we can't live the life? And I get it. If it's a bona fide obstacle we have to overcome, of course you're going to discuss it. We're not talking about, like, not saying you can't discuss and formulate and try to figure out ways to do things, but like most of the time we start from the mindset of like this isn't going to work. Why wouldn't it work? Whatever that dream we have is, why wouldn't it work? I mean, you got a 50-50 chance. Either it don't work or it works. The good news is, even if it doesn't work, you might have learned something that's going to ultimately make it work. It's a journey, it's a path. It's just, I just weird. I'm like, why do we look at things so crazy? Why aren't we all just going around like, yeah, it's gonna work out? And then the few times it doesn't, we're like, oh, okay, this time it didn't. But like, you know what I mean? Why don't we all go through life with just that belief? Especially when like not having that belief hasn't ever made our lives better, as far as I've seen. I don't know anybody. They're like, man, as soon as John got negative, his life got good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that. I don't see that. I look at the most negative people I know, they always seem negative. They always seem down, you know? They seem broken. And once again, I have empathy for these people. Like, this is not a downing people. It's more of like, hey, how can we all, those people included, get to a place where like we really understand the power we have? I think that's the main thing. Like, we don't understand the power we have. I think it is our one of our divine rights to have a certain amount of power over what happens in our lives. That seems to make more sense to me, that we would be put here by someone who wants us or something who wants us to have an amazing life and also gives us the ability to make that happen, as opposed to us being put here by someone who like doesn't want us to have an amazing life and doesn't give us any control over it. That just seems odd to me. Why create us in the first place then? If you believe in creation. I mean, even if you believe in evolution, like, you supposedly, and I'm not saying it's not true, but like even the theory of evolution is like things evolve so they can survive and thrive. So even evolution wants you to thrive, right? Creatures grow all kinds of different wings and legs and defense mechanisms so the species can survive and thrive. So no matter how you look at it, whatever put us here wants us to thrive, wants us to keep going. So why do we always have this ideal of like, oh no, it's gonna get worse. Things always get worse. Prices always go up. They never come down. Even though we all know the saying, what goes up must come down. This it's the programming though. It's not our fault. We were taught this. We were taught this. And like if we don't take the time to question it, that's why I say question everything. Even the need to questioning. But I say question everything. Because I know for me, I found I was like, man, there's just things I believed or ways I looked at the world that when I questioned it, I'm like, oh, that don't make any sense. Some of them were easy. Oh, that don't make any sense. I'm not doing that no more. Others were harder. Like some of them are deeply ingrained and it takes years sometimes to totally get it out. But that doesn't mean you're not doing better. You know, from day one when you realize, yeah, I'm trying to tweak this, you're doing better. Gotta question these things. Like, why do I feel the need to do that? Like anything that's not like if it's no, if something's serving you, if you're like, oh, I do that because I get this. Okay, cool. That it's good. Some of the things we question will come back like, oh, I do believe that. That is good in my life. But the things that you're like, wait a second, that is doing nothing positive for me. How is this getting me towards my goals? How is this helping me be a better friend, a better partner, a better parent, a better, coworker? How is this bringing prosperity or more abundance into my life? How is this bringing more love into my life? A lot of things, they aren't. They're not. We just do it because everybody else does it. We just do it because everybody else does it and they told us to do it our entire life. Things work out. I'm telling you. It's one of those things like you don't have to believe me. Just try it. I'm telling you, just say it. The next time you're in the middle of something, just keep telling yourself it's going to work out. I don't know. That weird guy on the internet said to say this. I've heard other people say it. You know what? In this situation, it's going to work out. I think this is going to work out. Tell people. Don't just say it. Y'all know me. I'm not in that camp of don't tell anybody. And no, tell people. Hey, what's up with that thing? Oh, it's gonna work out. I'm good. The reason I think it's important to tell people is A, like you'll say it more. I think, and B, when it does work out, you might make believers out of them. Oh man, she kept saying it was gonna work out. It kept working out. Let me try that. Let me try that. People will do that. They may not even tell you, but they'll low key start saying it. They may never. A lot of people learn from. We learn from each other, and a lot of people can learn from you. Can learn from our positive example. They'll never tell you. They just start doing stuff low key. They'll never tell you. Nah, some people ain't there. They'll never tell you. Some people will be like, "Hey, that one thing you was doing, I'm doing it now. Thank you, sis." But some people never tell you, but they benefit from it, and it's okay. That's okay. We just trying to live our best lives here. We're trying to get free. We're trying to be at peace. We're trying to be content. We're trying to tap into that abundance, that prosperity, live our best lives. Is that too much to ask? I mean, all that seems pretty simple. A lot of the goals that society tells us to go after seem a lot harder. I just want to be content. That seems a lot easier than like a five-bedroom house in a gated community with two foreign cars. Not saying that's a bad goal if that's what you really want, but like that seems a lot harder than like I just want to be content at peace. Whatever contentment and peace looks like to you or to me. I just want to be able to spend more time with the people I want to spend time with. That seems pretty easy. You know what I mean? That seems like something that, like, if I'm chasing it, it will flow. I honestly feel like the more genuine and authentic our goals are, the easier they are to get to because it flows. When you're going after it, it flows. When you're on the right path, it just flows easier. There's less resistance because, like, everything around you, for the most part, because I do believe we live in an abundant universe that wants good things for you, wants you to have the best life. So if you're going after like best life goals that you genuinely want, not ones that society told you to go after, I think it's easier. Everybody's in agreement. If everybody's pulling in the same direction, it's easier to pull. You know what I mean? Like it just flows. We stop putting up our own barriers and blocks. A lot of times we're the biggest barrier, we're the biggest block to the life we want because we don't think we can have it. So we keep talking about all the reasons we can't have it. So the other forces that would be pulling with us, they're like, well, he ain't, you know, if Tim ain't pulling, we ain't gonna pull. If Tim don't think he can do it, but why waste all this energy trying to get it for him? Because he don't think he can do it. We not pulling if he not pulling. I think it works like that. Now, once again, you know me, folks. I'm always like, these are just my beliefs, my opinions. I could be totally wrong. All I can go on is like what I've seen in other people's lives and what I've seen in my life. And just the more I put forth the thought and after that the belief that like things work out, the more things just seem to work out. I don't get as worried anymore. I say, yeah, it's gonna work out. How's it gonna work out, Timothy? No clue. When's it gonna work out? I don't know. I don't need to, I don't have to bear that burden. I just believe and I do my part. I'm chilling, say my prayers, do my part, like going like God, if you're a God fearing person, you know, throw it on the universe. But I'm not going to go through life speaking bad things happening to me into existence. I'm not going to do my part to make bad things happen. I'm not going to do my part to attract bad things to me. Some of them are coming. That's just part of the game. You sign the paperwork, and that's one of the clauses. When you sign the life paperwork, that's clause B, addendum C. Bad things will happen. Initial here, sign here, date here. So it's like I already know that's coming. Why am I going to bring more of it in or focus on that? Nah, when we get to that, we get to that. Until then, I'm doing this other stuff, bro. Like, I'm trying to bring so much abundance into my life that when the bad stuff comes, I don't even really notice it. I got so much good going on. I'm like, oh yeah, that thing is happening over there. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I got all this other good over here, bro. I don't even see it. Or I got so you know what I mean? Or I got so much positivity built up. We roll right over that. Yeah, yeah, that hurt, but you roll right over that obstacle. But I think it all starts with that day when we allow ourselves to look at it that way. And I think that's why we have to keep having these discussions and keep telling people, oh, hey, that worked out for me. This worked out. Boom, 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 boom. That's the natural way of things because we never know when it's that moment when we start to believe or someone else, because of our example, starts to believe. Tell you, if you see a person who's in that zone, some of the most peaceful people, tell you, my friend, he be chilling, man. I don't think I've ever had him call me and just be like stressed. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He might call me and ask my advice on something like I do with him, but he be chilling. He might be like, hey, what do you think I should do? Got it double, but I've never seen him be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's like, it'll work out. I'll figure it out. People be like, but what about this? What about that? He's like, and I think you can give me one second, folks. I wasn't policing the chat. Um, I think we all can get ourselves to that place. I think maybe some people might be born with, more calm, more inner peace, but I do think it's something that once again, we control our lives. So I think we can say, "Hey, I want more inner peace. I'm going to get more inner peace." Tim, I don't have enough peace. I don't have enough contentment to think that way. Well, just decide you're going to get more inner peace. Like it all starts with deciding you're going to do something or you're going to have something. And the good news is you can decide you're going to do or have whatever you want, right? No one can stop you from saying, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have that. People will try to like dissuade you and tell you you're crazy, but like nobody can stop you from deciding to do something or deciding to believe something. They'll try, but they can't make it. It's like, nah, once again, people think you're delusional and that's not how life works. That's not reality. Well, that's not your reality because you've chose for it not to be your reality. It's my reality because I'm choosing for it to be my reality. This ideal of like there's just one set reality, one set no. I don't personally believe that. And even if there is one set reality, I think I have a great deal of power to influence how I act and how I interact with that reality. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was my spiel for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna jump into the comments um, for a moment, and we can talk for a little bit. But that was just a spiel I wanted to get off. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. We're like 13 likes away from 100. So it was cool. It's cool. Let's see what people had to say here. Um, I might just jump in at a spot and just start going. So if I missed your comment or don't say hi to you, I'm not snubbing you. I'm just literally picking a point and jumping in and saying what's up and going from there. So I think that's better than going all the way to the top because then I would miss a lot of comments. Where are we at? 1244 said, "Hey friend, how you doing? How you doing?" Michael, I agree. Life is amazing, man. So many amazing, wonderful, beautiful things you can do in this life that we as human beings enjoy doing. You ever thought about that? Like, there doesn't have to be anything enjoyable for us on this planet. We don't have to find a sunrise beautiful, sunset beautiful. We don't have to find other human beings attractive. Sex doesn't have to feel good. Eating doesn't have to taste good. We could have just been put here and just like, hey, you just got to make it to the end. But the fact that like we enjoy things, the fact that like we find beauty in this existence, that's a plus. We gotta tap into that, you know? We gotta appreciate that, enjoy that. How you doing, Savannah? Yeah, David, those doom and gloom. The thing about doom and gloom is like it's very powerful and it's easy to get locked in there. And then you start thinking all the way. And I've heard this from so many people. The world is worse than it's ever been. Da 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 da. We're doomed. Blah 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 blah. And I can get how if you're constantly on social media scrolling through doom and gloom content, why you would feel that way. But I just me personally, I don't believe that. Like we're going through what we're going through, but I don't. So they did, they did in the past. The caveman went through all kinds of stuff. The 1200s, they went through, all throughout history, people there was stuff. The life contract was the same. You got all this beautiful, wonderful stuff. You got this mess. You know. RP, yes, I'm sure I'm not a Christian. The reason I can say I'm sure I'm not a Christian is because Christian means Christ-like. Well, I'll say this: I have my views and my beliefs, but I don't identify as a Christian. Some of my views might be the same as Christianity, but I don't identify as a Christian because I'm not going to take on the mantle of all the stuff that comes with Christianity, respectfully. And that's not a diss at Christianity. I don't identify as any organized religion because I'm not going to take on all the stuff that comes with that religion or that's been done in the name of that religion throughout the centuries. So I personally just don't feel like I have to identify as any certain group in order to have a relationship with the divine. Though I will say some of the best people I know, very religious, some of them Christian, some of them other religions, and that faith is a big part of who they are. So I respect it. It's just not me. Sorry, 2019. How you doing? What up, bad student? Like the name. John, good to see you too. Thank you. Lee in the house. Okay, okay. What up, Doopy? Hey, blessings to you too. Saved by grace. Thank you. Yeah, man, I totally agree. I think we're indoctrinated into believing negativity. It's by once again, it's by design. If you don't think you have control, if you're constantly worried, you're constantly anxious, then you're not gonna take control to do the things you need to do to live your life to the fullest. And if you're not living your life to the fullest, well, then you're going to submit, you're going to conform, you're going to fall in line, you're going to follow other people's plan for what they want you to do. Fear is one of the biggest tools, one of the biggest weapons to get people to behave a certain way. Because with fear, they do it to themselves. To physically get people to fall in line takes a lot. Troops and weapons and, all kind of stuff, propaganda, all this stuff. But like If you can just put the fear in the person, they'll make themselves fall in line. You never have to tell them fall in line. You just have to scare them. You just have to get them in a mindset to where they're never going to go outside of the path you want them on. And it's really crazy because they don't even see the path. They think they're choosing that path. They think it's the safe path. You know, y'all not open until December 5th, Lee? Oh, damn. Hey, LeBlanc got the job. Nice, nice. Let's go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks for letting us know. Congratulations. Yeah, Phoenix, I'm telling you, start saying it. It's powerful. Words are powerful, especially positive words, very powerful. Gunmetal, don't worry. When they work out, come back and tell us, like, hey, remember you did that stream about things working out? And I said I was looking forward to things working out at least a little bit. They worked out crazy. They worked out a big bit. See, that's another example. And once again, it's because we're programmed to think that way. But even then, you're like, oh, I'm looking forward to things working out a little bit. Like you gave yourself just a little. Couldn't go the full, oh, things are gonna, and I get that. But like that, just like see little things like that, you'll start to see is like even when we start to like change a little bit, we still just open the door a little bit. I'll maybe a few things will work out. But I mean, that's how you start. But the day can come when you're just like, hey, nah, all of this gonna work out. And if it don't, we're gonna get through it. Let's go. Yeah, social different people have different views on what you should tell people, when you should tell them. Um, Me personally, like, and here's the thing too. I mainly spend my time talking to either my close friends, family, or like people I'm cool with. A lot of times they say don't tell people things because like they'll try to stop you, they'll get in your way. I'm like, that's if you're talking to that type of person. I spend very little time talking to that type of person. So like, but I think some people misinterpret that and they don't tell anybody anything. And I'm like, you need to bounce stuff off your peoples, you know? Hopefully you got some people in your life that like are going to be in your corner. Those people you can talk to. You can tell them anything, anytime. You should be able to, if you can't tell somebody something anytime, anything, anytime, well then are they really your friend? For real? But like, I respect it. Different people have different views on what to tell people. I just tell that it pops in my head, I'm telling it. Because then if I don't go through with it, people gonna be like, "What happened to the thing you said you was gonna?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's me." And a lot of times I don't like that. Actually, I never like that. So that's one thing that prompts me to take action sometimes when I don't feel like it. Is like, man, I've been out here telling these people I was gonna do this. So I have to do it eventually, one day. Oh yeah, society definitely doesn't want us to be content. No. Poncho, what up? Crystal, how you doing? Positivity flags flying. Good to see you. Good vibes. Lonely Girl TV, good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you can make another one. You've been making a good run. You disappeared for a while there, so I'm glad you're back making up for it by showing up pretty regular now. So it's good to see you. Hey, Yushi, glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I always said that that was one of my goals. I listen to a lot of Alan Watts, and a lot of the stuff he says calms me down. So I always said, man, I want to try my small way to do a little of that for others, like he did for me. You know what I mean? So glad to hear that. Excuse me. Girl, yeah, things work out in our favor. They do. You got it. 202. Empowered. How you doing? Belarus. Hello. What up, Rancy? Long time no see. I've been here. I've been here. Where you been? I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Hey, John. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much. Let me give you a like on that. I appreciate the love. Thank you. So thanks for the stream, Tim. Your talks, I think, have evaluated to another level, my brother. Me being a natural loner, they help me so much. We love you, Tim. Hey, I appreciate the love. I'm taking that love and I feel it. And I'm sending it right back to you. Love you too, my brother. Thank you. Um, and I think me being a loner, an introvert, these streams are very helpful for me too. So that's why, like, when I have a chance like now to do them, let's do them. Because I miss them when I don't have the chance. Yeah, Victoria, people will try to talk you out of, but like they don't have to succeed. People try a lot of things. Like I don't want to go through life scared to do something because I think people will try to do something against it. My thing is like, well, this is what I'm doing. And even though I know people are going to try to talk me out of it or try to sabotage it, it's not going to stop me. It's still going to work out. You know what I mean? That's how I want to look at it. Like even if you do try to stop me, try to talk me out of it, it's still going to work out. So yeah, maybe if I know there's a person who's like that and I want to deal with it, cool. But like they're not going to stop me if it's meant to work out that way for me. So like that doesn't really bother me. That they're going to try to talk me out of it. Okay, I probably won't listen. One relaxing nature heaven. I don't know a good way to get rural frugal land or housing. I would ask AI though, personally. You know, just lay it out there. Like I think it's a good time to grow food, be self-sufficient. This is my budget for like rural land and housing. What do can you help me with this? And then you just go along and like break it down even, tighter, and that's what I would do. Just like I'd pull up ChatGPT and ask, which is kind of the same thing of the old way where like you'd go on YouTube or something and type in, like how to buy farmland. It's the same thing, but better. But yeah, I would just ask AI, this is what I'm trying to do. What's the best way to do it? Hey, Alder Ray, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much, Alder Ray. Let me give you a like on that. So, what's up, Tim? What's up? I've been living the nomad life for over a year now. It's been an amazing journey so far. Nice, nice. I'm so grateful that I found inspirational videos like yours that encourage me to take the leap. I hope all is well. Hey, I am good. I am blessed. Um, Comments like yours, I get even happier. Feel even more blessed. Glad the nomad life is working out for you. Um, and I'm glad that you found the inspirational videos, but also didn't just watch them and get like momentarily inspired and then do nothing. I'm glad you watched the videos uh, and took the leap, you know, because I think some people never get there. They enjoy the motivation, they enjoy that inspiration. And then the next day, there's never any action. So props to you for taking that action and nomading it up and obviously doing something you thought about doing and it's working out for you. So, and I appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you. Did I say hi to you yet, Angela? If not, how you doing, Angela? Jay Beach Boy says, "How do we escape the system, the economy?" I'm big on trying to use the system. Like this economy is like the only economy we got. You know what I mean? Like even if we go off grid, the economy is the economy. You know what I mean? Um, so I think it's a matter of recognizing like, oh, this is the world we live in. This is the system we live in. This is the economy we have. This is the government we have. Within that framework, how do I live the life I want to live? I think too many people focus on all that stuff and try to change all that stuff. That's not where our power lies. And these are my opinions, but I think like, for example, people spend, you know, all this time and energy arguing about politics and and every year, like half the country's mad at the result. And every year people are like, oh, nothing's changing. So I'm like, that just seems like a lot of time and energy put into something that I should say every 4 years, excuse me. That seems like a lot of time and energy put into something every 4 years that I don't think the average person ever sees a return on. You got people who like certain candidates, but how many times are they like, oh, that candidate did something for me? I just look at stuff like that. So I'm like, I think we worry, we put a lot of time and energy into the things that we don't have any power in, but we do have power like over our own life. So I think it's a matter of being like, okay, the system is the system. I'm trying to get out of it. What does that look like for me? I think a lot of times we don't take the time to like formulate a plan or allow ourselves to envision what we want our life to truly look like. That's why I'm big on abundance journaling. I journaled this morning. I'm so proud. I meditated and journaled this morning. So proud of myself. I think we don't sit down, write down, speak aloud what we want our life to actually look like. It's cool. It's cool, but I want to get out the rat race. I want to get out the system. I want to get out the matrix. What does that look like for you? You know, because like if we don't have a plan of where we're trying to go, we'll never get there. So I think what we do a lot of times is we try to figure a plan. We don't set a destination. We spend the time trying to. We're waiting for the right plan. I think it's more important to set the destination. This is the goal. This is what I want my life to look like. This, or not even that. This is what my life is going to look like. This is my goal. This is where I'm heading. And then I think along the way, the how to will find us. You know, it's impossible to just tell random strangers how to escape the system, how to get out the matrix, how to get out the rat race, because we're all different. We're all going to do it differently. There's no one size fits all. We've been taught that. That's what, public schools did, standardized tests did. They taught us as one size fits all. It's this trying to follow a set blueprint that got us into the mess we're into. Because everybody's trying to like be successful the same way, and it doesn't work for most people. But anyway, so yeah, you can't tell, anyone else, I think, how to you can tell people how you did it, but as far as there's no one size fits all for beating the system, getting out of the rat race. But I think we can encourage people to set goals, set dreams, envision what they want their life to look like. Speak aloud how their life is going to look 5 years from now, 2 years from now, whenever. You don't have to set time limits on it. And I think as we do that, we start to take action in those directions. And as we do that, the how to comes to us. Suddenly we start seeing opportunities we didn't see before. And now because we said we was gonna do it, like you have to do it. Like we was talking about just a few minutes ago. There'll be times where like there might be an opportunity and it's a little uncomfortable. You're a little nervous about it, but since you've been going around telling everybody that one day you're gonna have an off-grid farm and you're gonna be raising soybeans and goats and chickens, you got to take advantage of that opportunity that came for you to maybe buy some farmland. Even though at the moment I gotta sell that, but man, I've been telling everybody I was gonna do it. I gotta do it. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know. I definitely don't think there's one set way of getting free, but I honestly think we don't have to figure that part out. We just have to believe we're gonna get free. That our freedom, our path to freedom is gonna work out, whatever that ends up being. Crystal, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much, Crystal. Said, yes, love the positivity. Positivity train coming in. Choo choo. Nice, nice. Fixing to set my New Year's goals. Let's do it. 2026. I think 2026 is going to be. Appreciate the love, Crystal. Thank you. The support. Thank you. The continued support. Thank you. I think 2026 is definitely is going to, in my opinion, is going to be one of those years where those of us who tap in and who are headed in a positive direction can make some great strides. But I also think the other side of the coin is going to be true too. The flip side is going to be true too. That people who were, you know, negative, worried, anxious, I could see it being they gonna make some strides in that direction, some big strides in that direction, because there is a lot of uncertainty. Um, but here's the thing: during uncertain times, you need something to hold on to, and that's what our goals and our dreams and the things we want for us and our family. That's some our beliefs. We can hold on to those. I think the reason a lot of people are struggling right now is so many of the things that they used to hold on to, they don't really believe in no more. You know, I think we've never seen a time where less people believed in religion and government and humanity in general. Um, and so I think people are struggling because they have nothing to hold on to. The more uncertain the world seems, the more lost they seem. But like when we have a clear cut vision of like, I don't know what's going to happen in the world, but this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm working towards. This is what I want for my family. That gives you something to hold on to stubbornly. But what if this happens? What if this happens? Well, this is what I'm doing. So, they can do what they want. Hatch, thank you. How do you conquer health anxiety? Zane, that's a major one. I will admit that is a major one. But I think it's the same. We can use the same formula. It's like, I'm going to be healthy. That's one of the things I write in my abundance journal, especially if maybe I'm going through a not so healthy moment. I'm healthy, happy, and loved. I'll even get specific about it. My liver is healthy. My back is whatever you might be going through. This is that. I write it in my abundance journal. I'm going to be healthy and believe like you'll be healthy. Health is possible. I know we have this idea that like as you get older, your health gets worse. I don't feed into all that stuff. If something that happens to me health wise, then like it happened. I don't pre-plan for, old age and not being able to work and my muscles. I don't, if it happens, it happens. But like I'm not pre-planning. I think that's a lot of health anxiety is like before it even happens, we're worried about it happening because people have been telling us it's going to happen for years. I just don't feed into it, you know, and it helps me to not be as anxious now. And even when I'm going through some health things, there's a possibility it can go away. So hey, when I get through this one, hey, I can't wait to that day this goes away. I'm back 100%, 90% healthy again. And I know for me, I found that a lot of times stuff kind of goes away, and some of the things that have stuck with me, well, yeah, once again, there is going to be some unhealthiness in your life. No need to compound it with things that we possibly could overcome or compound it with believing we're going to be sick before we're even sick. So that's a big one for me. I just speak good health into my body. And I understand that, if there's bad health that sticks around, well, that's just part of the game. Like something's gonna kill me. Like, I don't know. It'll be, hopefully 45 years from now or whatever. But like, you know what I mean? But like, I just speak good. I just speak good health into my body and my loved ones and everybody. Don't play Angela. Get ready to eat hot, greasy, dark meats. I just had a visual. Okay, okay, move it on. Don't, don't steer me down that road, Angela. Enjoy your meat. Uh-huh. Hope it's not dry. Okay. Salute went to Best Buy today. Didn't need anything or want anything, which is liberating. He said a little sad. At least you didn't blow any money. Jennifer K, what up? What up? What up? How you doing? How you doing? Love you too. Good to see you. Went to the dentist, but it all worked out. I feel like the dentist is honestly as scared as we a lot of us are of the dentist. The dentist is like that one place where like more, I think, than any other like doctor, where like they know the cure. You go to other doctors, they be like, well, we'll try this. Like the dentist knows we got to pull the teeth, we got to do a filling, we got to do a root canal. Most of the time, like the dentist has a solution. Good portion of the time, like the dentist has a solution. You may not want to go through what you got to go through to get it. Sitting in that chair with your mouth open for 45 minutes. Uh, but like hearing that drill, but like usually the dentist has a solution. You go to the other doctor, they don't know what's going like well, we'll try this, we'll try that. You leave out of there more worried than you came in. The dentist you leave out of there, your mouth numb, but like a lot of times they can fix it. So glad it worked out for you. I'm way behind in the chat. Where we at? Where we at? Yes, Marcus, we got to set the intention. We got to choose a road to drive down. We be in life driving in circles. We never set the intention. It was getting cold. Where you at, Angela? It was cold to here today. I walked down to the Walmart. I made myself walk without any gloves and like a thin jacket on because I want it to be cold because I'm trying to condition myself to the cold again. I do weird stuff like that. Instead of just coming back in the house and getting warmer clothes, like nah, I'm a freeze the whole way to Walmart just to do it. Hey, Nikki, glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you're in your unbothered stage, prioritizing peace. Let's go and loving it. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, Victoria. I think we don't do enough productive thinking or believing, but we just worry, and we think worrying is productive, but it's not. Lonely girl. I want to get back in the practice of journaling every day. So that's when I feel like I'm at peak Timothy Ward when I'm meditating every day and journaling. That's the routine. Get up, meditate for like 15 to 30 minutes, do my journaling, say a little prayer, uh, get up, make my bed, take my shower, head out. Like that's when I'm there. You know what I mean? Marcus, you audio journal on your phone? Okay. Oh, that's cool because then you can play it back. I like that. I like that. Oh yeah, Crystal. Honestly, Crystal, I haven't been drinking as much water lately. So today I got 4 jugs of water. Because we get that's another best practice. I know when I'm staying hydrated and drinking lots of water, I feel like everything flows better. Um, but I hadn't been drinking a lot of water, so we had to switch that up. Try to get better. Best practices. You don't need to know my visual. Oh, you know my visual. See, this is why I can't go down that path. Got a hailstorm in Phoenix. Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm weird, Green. I like to do little uncomfortable things to condition myself to like pain or cold. I do that a lot. Hey, Dalen, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Said, how many character? Long time lurker, first time super chat. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for your wisdom, positivity all these years. You are welcome. You are welcome. I'm missing something with the how many character. But thank you so much, Dalen, and I appreciate you. Being part of the lurk squad, but finally coming forward saying hello and with a little cash. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. We see. Shout out to the Lurk Squad. They be here. They be here. Freedom Society. Let's go. I actually went by my dentist today because I owed him some money. So I went and got a coffee and I walked down there And I came in, they're like, "Hey." I was like, "Oh, you want some money?" They were like, "Yeah." She looked it up. She was like, "Yeah, actually." 'Cause I know. I'll tell you, my dentist is cool. They had sent me a thing yesterday. Like, they just sent me a little text. Hey, you owe us a little money. Um, so I think they thought it was cool that like I came right away and paid it, but I could have paid it over the phone or what. I was like, no, I want to go in there. I don't know. Like, I think we don't interact with nice people enough anymore. You know what I mean? I like, like if I know I can go somewhere and the people are cool, yeah, it took me an extra 30 minutes to walk up there and back, but, like, I knew I was gonna go in there and gonna talk with them for a little bit, and it was gonna be cool. So I'm like, "Yeah, let me just walk down there and say what's up." I also went by the shoe store I go by, and the guy that I see in there all the time, he was in there, so me and him talked. So it was a cool morning, but, like, I like doing stuff like that. I like going by places, they know me, I know them, you know, you say a few words, I don't know, it just I like that, you know? Yeah, I feel like we don't do enough of that. Yeah, yeah, just go in there and talk to him. Say what's up. Shout out to my dentist and shout out to the a guy down at the shoe store. He was actually giving me some really good uh, brands of shoe that they don't currently carry, but he was telling me to look into because we're always talking about Skechers. Um, and I was like, yeah, people have been telling me to look into them Hokas. I think it's Hokas or whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, we got a good cover. Okay, moving on. Yeah, the dentist is it can be pricey. Okay, I can't today. I can't today. Sorry. I actually I didn't mean to do that. Timeout. That's what I meant to do. I meant to do a timeout. Yeah, I respectfully, some days I can't deal with the rapid fire comments about, some days it's cool if you're holding your own personal conversation. Some days I can't, like, because it's spammy in the chat. So, but I just did a timeout. Handle it. It's just something, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I don't mind, but some of it's like, I know we all communicate different, but Crystal was on that lurk squad too. Now she comes through all the time. Is it fatigue? Said I had a painful year, trying my best to recover, build my positivity back up again. Life is rough as it is. Going through it with a negative mind is torture. We should put on ourselves. I agree. I agree. Sorry to hear you had a rough year. Um, so awesome to see where your mindset is at now, where you're like, hey, I'm recovering, getting back to it, and then realizing like if I just focus on the negativity and how bad the past year was and it doesn't make it better. And I think, yeah, a lot of people don't see it that way, and then they just end up stuck in that. It was a painful year. They stay stuck in that 2 years from now, and it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy. But like, yeah, to have the mindset of like, I'm moving on from that. Like I went through this. Now I'm moving on from that. I think we, in general, I feel like, and I think social media definitely added to this. But I have noticed that it seems this way, or maybe just because there's social media, we see it more. But it seems that like these days, people are way more into like dwelling on bad things that happened to them in the past and how it affected them, and like why now they can't do so and so because they had this. You just hear a lot of people talking about the bad stuff that has happened to them, or the hand they were dealt. And you empathize, and you understand because like we've all had that. But it's just like, if that's all you ever talk about, how are you ever going to get over it? And that's the goal. I feel like is to get over it. So if it's like, hey, if we got to talk about this stuff to a point to work through it, cool. But it just feels like, you just see a lot of people like, I'm like, bro, it's been 3 years. We still talking about the same thing at the same level. Like that's your whole, I see some content. Once again, not knocking anybody's content, but I see some content creators, their whole like channel is this happened to me and this is what it does to people and and I'm like, bro, like when are we is the goal to just endlessly dredge it up, which is cool if that's your goal in life, or is it to like get over it? Are you genuinely trying to help other people going through that to move past it? Or do you just want to be around other people who've gone through it so you can just like ruminate in the self pity? I don't know. I just feel like I see that more these days. And like, once again, it's not coming at the person. It's just like, bro, like if you get to the place you move past it, you've moved past it. And then it's not defining you anymore. Things that other people did to you or things that like you were born like they're not defining you anymore. That's the goal. Like we want to get through this stuff, get past it, put it behind us, move on. Yeah, this happened in the past, but where are you going in the future? That's exciting. That's what we want to hear about, you know. Okay, I feel like I got a little off topic. um there's a fine line between a minimalist and a prepper. Honestly, I think there's a huge gap between a minimalist and a prepper. A prepper typically has tons of stuff stored away. A minimalist doesn't have anything. So I don't know. Oh, yeah, like you said, we're survivalists in vastly different ways. I'm not really seeing the connection at all. Um, maybe, but I mean, if we are both survivalists, there's such vastly different ways. Is there even a connection? Anyway, they love that crystal. Came for the sobriety. Found they want to travel. Change your mindset. Let's go. Positivity. Let's go. I've seen the positivity change. I've seen the positivity change. Blessed to see things like that. Yeah, Green, you're exactly right about therapy. Nothing wrong with therapy. I've been to therapy. I've had psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, all of it. Some of them were helpful, some weren't. But I do think they have hijacked therapy and turned it into something to get your money and to yet again make you feel powerless. This idea that as soon as somebody mentions something in their life, you're like, you need to go to therapy. It's like, bro, maybe the person just needs to talk about it with their friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not downing therapy at all. I just think, yeah, they've hijacked it and turned it into something it doesn't necessarily need to be. Oh, Lene, wow, I did not know that. Um, First off, I appreciate you being so vulnerable with us. And I definitely hope this stream is helpful. And yeah, I can't imagine how hard that is. I can imagine how hard that is. But I like the attitude. Second comment, it's a little exciting. It's a little exciting. But I can imagine very terrifying and painful. So definitely prayers for you. Um, it'll all work out. No, it's gonna all work out. Um, but yeah, that's I can imagine. Yeah, that's some real pain and life shifting there. But you're gonna get through it. You're gonna get through it. I know you. I know you're a strong woman. I worked with you. I know you personally. So I know you go get through it like for real. Um, but definitely I'm saying when this is over, prayers. Prayers, definitely. Wow, that's deep. Lene getting love in the chat. I love it's a great community. Sasha said, Tim, I'd love to be debt free. It feels so far away sometimes and I get down about it. And that's understandable. When we have dreams that seem so far away, and like we really want them, we can get down about them. But like if you're on the journey, you're on the journey, you know. And here's the thing I think about. Once again, people say I'm delusional. Um, who's to say that like a year from now you don't get some type of financial abundance that allows you to pay like half your debt off like that? You know what I mean? I think about things like that. It's like, yeah, this seems crazy. This is a lot of debt. But like I don't know what's gonna happen down the line financially. It's an abundant universe. They got people out here that's trillionaires, you know? Who's to say that something doesn't happen and suddenly I start earning money or I get some kind of whatever, half my debt goes away in a month. You know what I mean? Like and even if something like that doesn't end up happening, I just think that thought pattern of just understanding like, yes, this is my current plan for paying off the debt. That doesn't mean that that might not change and it might not get paid off quicker. So while it seems like it's far along, oh man, if I do it this way, it's going to take me 16 years to get the, it might take you 6. You don't know what life's going to do, you know? But that's why I think it's so important to put in front of, I'm getting debt free. Come hell or high water, I'm getting debt free. I'm not even gonna think about how long it's gonna take me. Like I'm getting debt free, bro. Like, and you know, I've heard people talk about live as if you're already doing what you are planning on doing. It's like I'm debt free, bro. Like I don't see yourself as debt free almost, but like I'm getting debt free, you know. And every day I wake up, I'm doing something that is getting me closer to that. Like I don't even need to really worry about how long it's gonna take me, because like every day I'm doing what I can do. And then I firmly believe a lot of times in situations like that, something does come along, speed the process up. You know, just I think once again, I'm a big believer when we're putting adequate energy in doing our part, the forces that are also at play do more of their part. They see you pulling, they come over and help you pull. You know, when we're barely, yeah, I'm pulling, ain't nobody gonna come help. But like you over there, "Yeah, I'm doing the best I can. Oh, let's go help Tim out or whatever. You know, congratulations on eventually being debt free. Let's go. Oh, hell, second day of coffee withdrawal, had an emotional moment thinking about the past, had a little gym time, got me over it. Okay, okay. Yeah, them coffee withdrawals, they be different. They hit different. Chris, I know you have 5 kids, 3 baby daddies. Let's go. I said, not trying to get messy. Uh, oh, okay, okay. Now we're getting okay. I'm watching. I'm watching. Hey, John. Yeah, one day we're gonna chop it up and I'm gonna get the full story. But I'm just glad you're living your best life. What up, James? Hey, thanks, Rebel. And I'm sending that same prayer up. We all gonna get what we genuinely desire. You're welcome, Simon. yeah, yeah. You know, we can start to clean up couple of the, I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's like you give people a little a leash to express themselves, and then they just go all the way out there. It's like just calm down, my brother, my sister, please. Oh, straight. Sorry, straight edge. Didn't say hi to you. Sorry. Yeah, it's not intentional. It's not a diss. Like sometimes I'll just be reading the chat. Like I'll see a name, and in my head, it just doesn't trigger to say hi for some reason. Then later, I'm like, oh, did I say hi to? So I'm sorry, straight edge. Good to see you. I didn't see that you had said something in the last stream, Angela. You got free reign to do whatever you. Well, as always. But yeah, do what you got to do on that one. I don't, yeah. Hey, what up, Toxic Fuse? I've been good. I've been good. Can't complain. Can't complain. Crystal got the wish list going, and not like an Amazon wish list, like a life wish list. Uh-oh. Marcus talking a little Whitney. Whitney has a step by step song. Wasn't that a TV show? Step by step. Came on after Urkel. Urkel. Family, was it Family Matters, Step by Step? I'm the only one. Used to watch, what was it, TGIF? I'm the only I'm the only unk in here. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah, y'all young, y'all don't watch Urkel. Okay. Just me. All right. Okay. Slice. Two things. I don't want to get married. And secondly, I'm not sad and lonely. But I appreciate the advice. So lady, you watch TGI. Okay, cool. And there was a New Kid on the Block song. So I said, okay. When they watched those, we similar in age. Okay, thank you. I thought it was crazy for a minute. Yeah, that I mean, it's because mom didn't let us watch a lot of TV, but I like that those shows were like family friendly enough that like we could watch those when we finally got a TV. Because at first, mom wouldn't let us have a TV. Um, so when we finally got a TV, like those were shows we could watch without like getting in trouble. So I appreciated those shows. Dang, Angela, you hitting 55 hours this week? That training, man, you making good money this holiday season. Let's go. John, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Said I'm living my greatest life in, is it McAllen? McAllen, Texas? Is that where there's a lot of oil there, isn't there? There used to be. I feel like that used to be one of the patches. Was it? Is there oil there? Lene, your mom to let y'all either? Yeah, see, like it. I don't know. It was. I think part of the reason I don't get as bothered when I don't have things like a car that when you don't have them, people think you're broke, even if you don't have one because you just don't want one, is because like yeah, even like growing up, people always thought we was poor because we didn't have a TV. I'm like, we can afford a TV. Mom just won't let us have a TV. They're like, yeah, right. Tim, just say you. I'm like, everyone can afford a TV, But yeah, they say, you don't have a TV. I'm like, we can. But I mean, yeah. So I think I just been used to, and I didn't get Christmas clothes and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm used to people like judging me and thinking less of me or that I'm broke or whatever. And like, it's just like, bro, mom just won't let us have a TV. Texas Tea. I get that reference. Hmm. But yeah, it was weird. Like one day she just kind of, I guess we got older, and yeah, we suddenly had a TV. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, we got a TV now. Okay. I don't know how dad knew when the line was crossed, but suddenly we had a TV. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, that was probably one of the only things that bothered me a little bit about not celebrating Christmas. When you come back from to school from Christmas break, everybody fresh. Everybody fresh. Like except me. Which honestly, when I got a little older, mom would set aside some money because a lot of this stuff I think she didn't realize. And believe me, my mom's an amazing parent, but it's just like she didn't really think it through of like. And once again, I don't mind not celebrating Christmas, but I think when she finally realized like, oh, that does kind of suck for like everybody to have new clothes, at least in America, at least where I was at. Everybody came back fresh, and I still had the same old stuff on. So like, she started saving some money, and over the Christmas break, like she would let me go get an outfit or two. So at least that first day or two, I could come back like, "Wow, we in here." You know, I remember the first time, because at first we also weren't allowed to wear shirts with clothes with writing on them and stuff. The first time she let me get like an Adidas shirt. I came through with white Reeboks, khaki shorts, like an Adidas shirt. People was like, "Dang, who's that?" I said, "I see y'all looking." I said, "Look today, because I'm back to my old clothes tomorrow." But yeah, I remember that day. I came back. They was like, "We see you, Tim." I'm like, "Yeah, don't get it twisted. You get this one day." But and I might wear this outfit twice a week. But but shout out to Mom, because she came around. Oh, there's no oil there? Where was it? Where was it? Where am I thinking about in Texas? Now, granted, this was 10, 15 years ago. I'm thinking about. Why was I thinking there was oil there? Yeah, I do credit my parents to allowing me to see the important things in life. You know, and even if as a kid I didn't totally understand why we did or didn't do certain things, I think, yeah, I learned some things aren't important. Some things that I think a lot of other people were taught were important, my parents taught me, like, you don't have to be doing that. You don't have to be chasing after that. You can still have an amazing life. Because I had an amazing childhood. So, there were moments where it was awkward because of our beliefs, but like I was still good. So I think that allows me, as I got older, to continue as I got to decide the things I wanted to do, the things I didn't want to do. It wasn't as hard because, like, I've been taught, like, you don't have to do what everybody else does, and you'll be fine. Yeah, Voltron, Cars is. I was thinking about that the other day because some days I'm like, which I don't think I'd buy a car in the wintertime because I ain't trying to drive in the winter. But I'd be like, I wonder. Like, there's a van, like the Toyota Sienna vans I really like. Um, the older model, 2016 to, like, 2017, 2018, somewhere in there, 2015, so like 10-year-old and a little newer. Um, so I think about it sometimes, but then I'd be like, man, I don't want that stress, bro. Like, that's just more stress. Texas does have a bunch of oil refineries. You learn that at the Texas State History Museum in Austin. Okay, okay. Austin's a vibe. Yeah, I know there was cities in Texas that were big during the oil boom a few years back. I just I can't remember which one they were. Yeah, Revel. And appreciate you saying that. But yeah, I always tell people I would not change my childhood and my upbringing because people are like, man, that was strict. I'm like, bro, I credit who I am to that. I don't mind that we didn't have television for half my childhood. Probably a good thing. I wouldn't do it over again if I could. Like, I played outside a lot. I think that might be part of the reason I have such a you know longing for outdoors and nature is because I was outside as a kid. Not to mention it was the 80s, so all the kids were outside more. But can we talk? Yeah, sure. Targeted? You mean like outside of YouTube? If you message me on Instagram, I'll typically message back. But that's kind of the only way to talk outside of YouTube. No, green. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, so it was pretty strict. And mom was pretty strict about certain things, but I wouldn't change anything about my childhood. Genuinely, like, I'm strong enough to take the strict. You know what I mean? Strong enough to take the ridicule from the kids on the bus and the kids at school and from family and all. Like, I think it made me stronger. If you grow up, everyone around you is doing the same things you do, and there's never any ridicule or pushback. I think it's harder to deal with life when that stuff starts happening. Um, for me, it was regular. Like, it was no one ever agreed with what we did, unless we was down there to the Kingdom Hall. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what I think now. Like, I don't care. Like, people, what about it? bro, my whole life I've been doing things different. This is regular. Like it's hard for me to do what everybody else is doing. You want to see Tim struggle? Let the right course of action be the one everybody else is doing, and I have to do it too. Oh, rough. Oh, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be different. Let's talk about secret societies. I'm good. I'm good. Here's why I say that targeted. The truly secret societies we don't know about. I have this conversation with people all the time. Oh, you know about this? I'm like, if it's that secret, how you know about it? You're 27 in Portland. Stop. You know what I mean? Like, hi. So that's why, like, I don't. The truly secret societies don't nobody know about them. So why am I gonna waste my time like talking about them? They're secret. Respectfully. Okay. Yeah. 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 We're not. Nope. 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 Suffering from Nintendo dependency. Hey, Nintendo was new, but when PlayStation came out, that just blew our minds. Crash Bandicoot. Um, yeah, I mean, it's. I really feel like the time, like it is. Okay, 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 okay. All right, cool. I really feel like starting from like these days, um, the time period from like the 50s till now, and just all the advancements we've been able to see. Not saying they're all better or that humanity's better because of them, but I just think about all the cool advancements we've been able to see that I don't ever think there was a time in history where like they got to see so many things. We got to have so many like wows. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I think about like my dad, and all the things he's been able to see. And it was radio. Then it was like, wow, TV. Then it was like, wow, color TV. Then it was like, wow, VCR. Then it was like, wow, DVD. Wow, cassette tape. You know what I mean? Like so many things, and when we were kids. It was Atari, then Nintendo, then PlayStation, then yeah, DVDs and like straight like so many things. It hasn't stopped yet. Now, here shortly, the wowing may stop. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's just a cool time period to be alive where we just consistently get to see new stuff. Hey, glad to hear that, Marcus. Yeah, better for it. Better for it. Do I remember Alex the Kid? Who's that? I don't know what that is, or maybe I've forgotten. Yeah, we've seen a lot, Angela, in a short amount of time, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. So I just think about some of the stuff now that 20 years from now the kids are gonna be like, "What? iPhone? What was that?" You know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna jump off. I actually have to eat dinner. I got some yellow rice in there that's been sitting on the counter for the whole time we've been talking, actually. So I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna eat my dinner. I'm gonna say the prayers I said I was gonna say. Um, I'm gonna enjoy my evening. Probably maybe cut my hair. I don't know. Maybe cut my hair. But that's not important. What is important is that y'all came through. You supported the stream, supported the community. We had a good time. So thank y'all so much for being here. Big shout out to the Super Chat Squad. Y'all came through heavy. Thank y'all. We appreciate the support. Shout out to Angela, world's best moderator. We did have to block a couple people, and another person came dangerously close. But it's all with love. It's all with love. And so, on that note, I just want to say I genuinely love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this community, part of my life. We will talk again soon. Stay blessed, and it's going to work out.